Hey everybody, welcome to the video, and I'm gonna try to make this quick, but it's probably gonna be a little longer than I would like it to be. But yesterday I posted on the channel here that today was gonna be a big day, and for everybody to watch and just see what happens. Okay, so now from my perspective, the reason why I posted that was because of three prophecies that I've had that are all happening to different levels right now. And so I guess the three prophecies were number one, I had a dream of Abraham Lincoln and watches and clocks, and then a year 1363, which had to do with the Civil War, as well as the Emancipation Proclamation to free slavery, to free captive slaves. And then the second prophecy was that I saw the October 7th attack on Israel happen beforehand, and that it would go from missiles to bombs and escalate and so forth. And so then the third prophecy, I will show you here in a minute a little more detail about that one. But it's basically I saw mountains be struck to where they looked like there was lava on them, or that they were on fire and there's smoke coming up and so forth. Okay, and so all of those things are happening to different degrees right now. And so hang with me through the end, because it all weaves together to all the events that are happening today. And I'm going to show you this montage of all the events that happened today from other people's YouTube channels and just news stories and stuff, and all that's going on with the protests that have turned into riots and shootings and so forth. So stick around throughout the whole video if you would. This is to give glory to God, because He showed these things happening beforehand. So the first prophecy of these three happened when I was 12, and I'll try to give you kind of the truncated version here, because I've given the full version in my book already and on other videos. But I saw Abraham Lincoln and then another guy with a pocket watch, and behind them was a wall full of clocks ticking. And they were just basically staring at me. And so the pocket watch, you have to watch because time is running out. And it had to do with Abraham Lincoln being a president, right? Well, then the next scene was the year 1363. And I didn't know that he had served at that time. I later learned that, being 12 years old, I saw an encyclopedia that said he served from 1860 to 1864. And so 1863 is in there. And so then I learned that 1863 had to do with the Emancipation Proclamation to free captive slaves. Well, later, God was leading me in some dreams to know about the parable in Luke 16, and to where the story there is basically combined with Hosea, that there's going to be captives freed from Jesus Christ, and in the end times. And so this idea with the Emancipation Proclamation in 1363 having to do with freeing slaves, and the fact that Luke 16 was basically describing a situation in torment and in the spirit realm, to where Hosea would then describe that, and different people in the Word of God describe that there's going to be these captives that are saved. Well, Luke 16, the number 16 ties in with Abraham Lincoln being 16 in that way. But then also just the fact that there was a civil war in that time. And so then it was crazy. As I'm older now, I'm 44 now, and around, I don't even know when, within the last 6 or so years, I found that the lineage of Abraham Lincoln, his family today, found a letter in an attic of their house saying that inside the pocket watch that Abraham Lincoln was given, that there's a secret inscription inside. And so now here you have Abraham Lincoln and then a pocket watch. Remember the dream I saw Abraham Lincoln with another man who had a pocket watch. Well, the guy that was the maker, his name was Jonathon Dillan, I've discovered. And I saw a picture of him, and he was exactly the guy that I saw in the dream. He's wearing the same suit even. It was crazy in an amazingly powerful way that God would show that to me in like 1993, way before internet was available to us. And so here you've got this watch now having a secret inscription that's just discovered in like 2018 or 2009 or something, fairly, kind of recent, I guess. I don't know. But way after the dream that I had. And it said, inside it said, first shots fired. Okay, so it's tying it again to what was happening in 1363, which is a civil war. Okay, so now you've kind of got that painting. I have to watch. At some point in my life I would have to watch because the time is running out or a certain time is coming up, and it might have to do with the Civil War. Okay, so then the second dream was of October 7th in Israel, and then that escalating. Well, it's still happening today, and so I'll show you a lot of clips of how that's escalating today. And then the third prophecy was that I saw these mountains on fire that looked like volcanoes because they were struck. And so they're on fire and they're smoking. And then now there's been several videos that have surfaced of this event actually happening. And so there's a lot that has come today onto the news, and you can see all these videos, you can see some of these accounts. And so yes, today was a very big day, and there's more to come. There's more bombs to come, there's more missiles and more war, potentially some form of a civil war to some degree. Some people think that we're maybe in it right now, that we're infiltrated by different people in our government, and there's a war that Trump is trying to drain the swamp and all this and that. And there's probably several factions of people being at war behind the scenes. And then also, I had a dream of seeing the parade, and nobody knew that this parade was really going to happen. It was now first announced on May 31st, I think, just May this year of 2025, it was announced. And so before it was announced, nobody knew that it was going to happen. And so we haven't had one since 1991, I guess. So it's been, many years since we've had one. We don't have these every year or with every president or with every Republican president. And so for me to see this big military event, and then all of a sudden, now it's being announced, and then it happened today. Well, I saw, this big event, but there's also talks kind of out of the public eye, and it has to do with a digital situation to where a person is plugged into, maybe AI or robots or something to that effect, to where it's next level technology being discussed. And then you see, today in the parade, you see robot dogs. You hear that soldiers are now equipped with AI to help them make guided decisions. And you see the streets, and you see that there are back alleyways and so forth. But whether that was literal or figurative, behind the scenes of the parade event today, you had all of these protests going on that turned into riots here within, in the evening hours. And they're still unfolding as we speak. And so a man was shot, And it's just, it's a level of civil unrest, civil war. There's cities like LA that have declared, that there's civil unlawful actions now. And so it's amazing. And God had showed me all these things. And part of this is the weight to the fact that it's the part of the weight of our faith, the fact that we don't know when we're going to die, whether we're going to mortally die or be raptured in our lifetime. We need to walk with God and be right with Him. And there's a lot of things that are happening that God said would happen, and getting into scarier times. So I've been watching, and I'm trying to tell you guys to watch as well. I'm trying to help you to do that. And yeah, just keep your eye on what's going on, and subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell so that you can be alerted of new videos and postings. And as well, go to the videos tab and scroll through my videos, and you can see the prophecies that I've been given, which ones are yet to come true, and which ones have come true. Many have come true. And then the teachings on how to walk closer to God, and so that you can be prepared. So yeah, with that, I guess we'll just get into some of these videos, and then based on what I just told you here, you can kind of make sense of what I'm showing you. So, and then that the videos will just end this video. So I will say goodbye for now, and may God bless you as you continue to follow Jesus to the Father in heaven. And then the last thing that I remember seeing was that the scene shifted to mountains and even volcanoes. And I couldn't tell if the mountains were struck by bombs, making them light up red like lava, or if I just saw volcanoes. But I think the takeaway is that wherever this bomb may drop, it likely has either mountains or volcanoes or both. And that might be an indicator as well as to location.
One of the Iranian surface-to-air missile and radiation installation that the IRGC have been working on for a very long time. This is again in the western parts of the country, in Dalua. This has now been destroyed by the Israeli Air Force jets. Once again, let's go to the next video. This is only a few seconds.
We begin with some breaking news just coming in. Israel has struck Iranian Defense Ministry headquarters, and IDF says it has completed an extensive series of strikes in Tehran related to the Iranian regime's nuclear weapons project. In a tweet, the IDF says the sites it has targeted included the Iranian Ministry of Defense headquarters, the headquarters of the SPND nuclear project, and additional targets, now which it said advanced the Iranian regime's efforts to obtain a nuclear weapon and where the Iranian regime hid its nuclear archive.
Sometime in 2023, I saw a large crowd of people assembled in a city, observing a presentation of military vehicles and bombs. While the people focused on the display, two military leaders met as they were walking in a back alley on a street just outside of the big public event. The two leaders were men, and they were sharing and confirming evil plans to use military force. One of the men was half electronic in the way that I saw it in this vision. And I saw this half man, half electronic flickering image as he walked right by my view from the vantage point that I had in this vision of him.
The vehicles, many weighing tens of thousands of pounds, will drive down Constitution Avenue.
This squad operates with unparalleled situational awareness. Drones and AI systems provide real-time intelligence, ensuring every step is calculated and every decision informed.
The Army Research Laboratory robot dogs reflect the latest in Army innovation. Look at this.
Better coverage than mainstream media.
Yes, hi Gigi. Yeah, that erupted about 15 minutes ago. The LAPD, as you said, issued that dispersal order. What was happening was the LAPD were taking rocks and bottles, they said, from the high ground, referring to this bridge, into this intersection. So now what they're trying to do is they've split this crowd. They've estimated to be at least 2,000. They're split it in several directions. You're looking down there at Temple and Los Angeles. And as I tilt south on Los Angeles Street, they're pushing this large crowd who are, they believe is the majority of the instigators, down away from the center of the city there.
You'll see him in a second.
And suddenly I just saw people on the ground. I don't know if they were in handcuffs or they were injured, but I just saw people on the ground with officers and some security guard near them. And as I was scared because I didn't know what was happening, I thought tear gas was being fired. At first I didn't think it was gunshots until some cops marched over there. They went to check up on us. We were a group of 20 and they told us that
Northcom, Stratcom, emergency action messages, a new war starting, U.S. intelligence warning about cyber attacks that are about to take place, and they're
breaking news coming out in the last 24 hours of warnings from the FBI of potential sleeper cell attacks on U.S. cities, on U.S. soil, coming from Iranian sleeper cells. This, as we've seen a new fifth wave of attacks taking place in the Middle East from Iran against Israel, as we're hearing the war is escalating, and also the warnings that things are just going to be increasing from here.